everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stories and Scribes. I'm your host, Jade, and I'm so excited to be talking about another book and another author that I totally love. And this is the second book I'm reading of hers, and I've really enjoyed every one of them. Okay, have you subscribed to my channel? Have you put your notification bell on? Have you left a thumbs up for me? Have you shown me some love? If you haven't, please, there's still time to do it. Please subscribe. Tell your friends, your family, your loved ones about Stories and Scribes, and let's get to enjoying good Christian fiction books. So today we're going to be talking about In Spite of Ourselves by Jennifer Rodewald. This is the book, an amazing book, and I'm just going to give you a gist of it. And like we always do before it, let's read about the book. What could build a life on such a monumental mistake? Mackenzie Murphy, family prankster, class clown, and now smack in the middle of a Vegas-sized mess. All he wanted was to qualify for the Boston Marathon. After failing that goal, he slipped into a deep sunken valley, only to emerge from it with a much bigger problem. He's married, and guess what? To a complete stranger. Forget making world-class marathon, so that his family will believe that he's capable of being grown up and serious on occasion. And two, he doesn't need the ongoing pity about his brother and a certain ex-girlfriend. Now, he has no idea what to do. Mackenzie Murphy, independent woman and excellent student, but not a med student, because of those pesky MCATs were hard. She doesn't particularly mind much, saying that she'll never really wanted to be a doctor, but her mother will be displeased. Exceptionally, that's nothing. However, compared to how her mother will respond when she finds what else happened in Vegas. Mackenzie wants out. Jackson wants a choice. Neither of them is prepared for what's coming. Caught in the middle of the disaster that keeps getting bigger, they hardly ask, can God take their monumental mistakes and turn into a beautiful life? In Spite of Ourselves is book 13 in the Potter's House book series 2, an uplifting and inspired story of hope, redemption, and second chances. And it's also book 2 in Jennifer Rodewald's Murphy Brothers book series. Book 1 is Always You. Grab a copy and be encouraged today. Okay, so we have this guy, Jackson, and we have Mackenzie. And both of them, in the time of their lives where, nothing just worked, they had a monumental failure for their lives. So Jackson wanted to go to the Boston Marathon, and he had to qualify. And qualify, you have to do maybe a half marathon or a pre-marathon before you qualify for the Boston Marathon. And he has to qualify at a certain time, to beat a certain time to be able to qualify. And Mackenzie has to pass her MCATs, which are like the medical exams where you do before you become a medical student. And she failed. So that night, with all the failures in the air, they both go to a bar, get drunk, wake up the next morning, and guess what? She has a ring on her finger. He has a ring on his finger. And like, what happened? And they went to Vegas, after meeting and getting drunk, and they got married. I know how Vegas is. You can go into Vegas, walk into a chapel, get married, and you're done, So that's what happened to them. So waking up the next morning, okay, that was a colossal mistake. So how do we get out of it? Mackenzie was like, I want out. And Jackson was, he also wants out, but well, was it so bad? That kind of thing when you begin to think about it, especially when people see you as just a prankster, a jokester, nothing serious about your life. You're not doing anything, bang, 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 all of that. And Jackson was a construction worker, and Mackenzie was someone that was trying to get to medical school. So that happened, and they wanted to file an annulment. And for some reason, the courts did not do that. And after discussing it, and when they're separate ways, like bring the files, I'll sign and all of that. But Jackson gave her a condition. Come with me for the weekend to my family house, and we'll see about that. So it was weekend or Christmas. So she says, okay, I will go. And after that, will you sign the papers for me so that we can annul this wedding? And she went on a trip. I think it was a 1 week trip to her family, to Jackson's family house in the mountains, and she had an amazing time. But the reality was, she grew up with a mom who kept telling her that men are not, love is nothing, love is a disadvantage, men are nothing, men, because of her own experience. I know it's amazing how, as parents or as older ones, we try to project our experiences on the younger ones. Sometimes we can tell them that, oh, this thing you're trying to do, it's not going to work. I try to do it, I try to do this, I do it, but you don't know that. Sometimes the circumstance in which surrounded you at the time when those things happened can be totally different from what the person that is doing it right now. The fact that you didn't do it, or you couldn't do it, or love didn't work for you at that time, doesn't mean that love is not going to ever work again. You know, and that's what Mackenzie's head has been filled with. She has to get a career. There's a trajectory of her life that she must follow because her mom wanted her to be independent. Her mom wanted her to be successful. But the thing is that sometimes life happens. But yeah, truly, what are the odds that you sleep and wake up and you meet a guy at the bar, sleep and wake up and you find that they are married? The odds are actually slim to none. But it happened to Mackenzie and it happened to Jackson. So what do we do about it? So Mackenzie meets Jackson's family and begins to also notice some things. He's always masking his hurt with jokes. He's always masking his hurt with being a prankster and being the funny one in the family. And a tragedy happened. Not tragedy as in someone died, but the girl that Jackson fell in love with when he was in school ended up being the wife of his elder brother. So you can imagine how there's just a conflict between those brothers. How it's awkward. You come for family gathering, your ex-girlfriend, who is now your brother's wife, now comes to the same gathering. It's just totally awkward, especially when the circumstances of all that happening was not pure. You know, that kind of thing. So after they go on the 1 week holiday and she's in love with the family because it's just her and her mom. She has never been in a situation where she has felt abject love and a motherly love in that regard, especially how Jackson's mom treated her, taught her how to, you know, combine flowers and get bouquets of flowers. And that's what she found that she loved to do. And all of a sudden, she goes back to town. The wedding cannot be annulled. And bam, she falls sick and finds out that she's pregnant. So like from a mistake to a monumental mistake to a colossal mistake, you know, that kind of thing. And she became ill. You know how it is, morning sickness and all the first trimester wahala of pregnancies began to happen to her. She couldn't work. She had to take some leave out. She lost her job. She couldn't afford her apartment anymore. And so she has to move in with Jackson. And that was the condition he gave her, because I could help you. You know, let's do this together. I'm the father of the child and I'm going to help you with that. And Jackson began to realize that there is nothing God can do. Like, really, this is a mistake, but what can God do with a mistake? And when I was reading it reminded me of the scripture that all things work together for good. In the end, it worked together, but the process of it working together is something that we have to appreciate God for. Because every process of the time God is working something out together is a lesson for you to learn. You know, and Jackson had to grow up. He had to take responsibility. And because of Mackenzie's mindset on how love and men are, she always was fighting it. And she had to come to the point where she realized that for anything to work, it's two people in agreement for making it work. You know, and because Jackson's mom and her entire family were Christians and they understood God's love. I remember reading the book and Jackson was trying to tell his father, because they lied that they were married and they didn't even know the circumstance. So if you're taking a girl that you're married to your father's house, obviously there has to be a story, and he lied about everything. But a time came where he found that she was pregnant and all, and he went home and he had to tell his dad that I lied to you guys and this is what's happening and she's pregnant. And, you know, he expected his dad especially, to say, I'm disappointed in you. You ought to know better than this. And his father just hugged him. And he just cried, because that was the show of love. That was how his father was able to communicate with him that what you've done, yes, is outrightly bad. It doesn't make you a bad person. I can't kill you. I can't rain anger or disappointment over you. Have you recognized this? So what are we going to do about it? And I think that is the attitude that we should have. Because the truth is that for everyone that comes to you to either confess or say something that they've done that is not right, I can assure you that they've judged themselves. I can assure you that they've hurt themselves. I can assure you they've condemned themselves. I can assure you they've rejected themselves. I can assure you that everything that you want to met out to them, they've done it already to them first. So I think that when people come to you in that kind of mode, saying that I've sinned, I've fallen, I've done this, the first thing you should do is what Jesus will do. Show them love. And in showing them love, we begin to find what is the next step to do in this situation. Because number one, it's just like pouring kerosene into a fire that is already burning. You will not get a solution to that fire. So the first thing is to show them love, and show them love the way Jesus will show you love. When Jesus was here, he did not condemn. To the adulterous woman, go and sin no more. Did he say, you are a sinner? No, he showed them love. And I think that is our first approach to it. So when I was reading it, one of the things that came to my attention was the middle children. Like, how do they fit in? How do they actually find the place and the balance in their own lives? Okay, so the first children are like important children. The last children are like the babies of the house. So the middle children, how do they find themselves? How do they find their place? And I think that it's a constant struggle for the middle children. So for anybody out there that has 3 kids, 4 kids, 5 kids, and let's pay attention to our middle kids again. Let's try and find out and give them a little more attention than they are actually receiving from now. Because I discovered that middle children always struggle with that. I'm not the first, I'm not the last, so where am I? And if you look at Jackson's life, it's one of the things he struggled. That's why he's always masking his pain with laughter, being funny, being the prankster of the house, the joker of the class, and all of that. And the truth is, people that are always making other people happy or laugh, have you ever stopped to find out how do they make themselves happy or laugh? How do they come to the point of joy? When they are sad, who do they talk to? Because it's so easy for people to just assume that the happiest people in class are the happiest people in life. But not necessarily so. So when you think about comedians that commit suicide and kill themselves, or when you think about those people that are strong, that are always laughing, and you see them that they're falling into episodes of depression, it always makes you wonder that, really, do we really pay attention to those people that seem strong, that seem happy and joyful? Sometimes just take a step back to say, how are you really? Apart from the jokes and apart from making us feel loved and laughed and happy, how are you? What's going on in your own life? Because you find out that because a lot is going on in their lives, they always use joy as either a distraction, jokes, laughter, pranks as a distraction or something that they have to use to cover up the pain of their own lives. And sometimes they just try to draw strength from other people's laughter. So I think that it's always good to pay attention a little more to those people that just make us laugh or feel that we are the strongest. Oh, I'm the strong one. I don't cry. I don't do this. I have all together. Sometimes just take a deep breath and say, girl, guy, how are you? And I think it will go a long way to helping someone, go through whatever they're going through in life. And so Jackson and Mackenzie finally come together, realizing that communication and just allowing God into a situation that seems bad can convert everything to a wonderful place. So what situation are you? What mistake do you think that you've done in your life? What is that colossal monumental mistake that you think that, oh my God, I'm gonna die? Take it to God. There is nothing God can't turn around. All things work together. The Bible says in another version that God is working all things together for your good. So whatever it is, God can take it, pieces together, and turn it out to something good. Are there consequences to actions? Oh, definitely they are. But is God's mercy available? Sure it is. Is His grace sufficient? It's definitely sufficient for you. And just remember, God is working on that mistake. He's working on that choice you made. As long as you give it back to Him and say, Lord, I did this. I'm sorry. Lord, what can we make out of this? And how can you bring beauty out of this? So I'm encouraging you. This, In Spite of Ourselves, was an amazing book for me, and it taught me this. So I'm going to pay attention to my middle child. I'm going to pay attention to the people around me that are always laughing, that are always joking, and say, girl, guy, how are you today? I know that you made me laugh today, but talk to me. Are you good? Are you fine? And whatever mistakes you think you've made, take it to God. He has a way of working it out together for you good. So I hope to see you next episode. Be good, be kind, and ensure to talk to someone and find out how they truly, truly are. God bless you. Bye.